Postgame press conference. Coach will start us off with a quick opening statement. Please raise your hands and use the microphones for questions. Coach?
First of all, just proud of our guys. Our number one goal this week was to be 1-0. We accomplished that goal. It was kind of a crazy, bizarre game, and I thought, we thought coming in that their defense was very solid and had a lot of speed, probably the fastest defense we played. And we did not execute like we like on offense. And I think, you guys know how we've been offensively the last 4 weeks, and today was not it. So disappointed in how we came out. Had a couple of drops early. Had some penalties. Just kind of sloppy. It just wasn't clicking like we've accustomed to the last several weeks. So, but proud of our defense, the way they played and kept keeping Central Florida out of the end zone. If it wasn't a couple of fluke plays, they probably don't get in the end zone. Man, I've never seen the play, the fourth down that bounces off us and back to them, and they get a first down, and then they get bailed out, and get up, the call there and end up scoring a touchdown. So. But what we've shown is that we can win in a lot of different ways. Offense down at Kansas, lit up the scoreboard in the yardage, and then today we didn't, but the defense came through. Special teams has been very solid throughout the whole season. I thought today was another great output with Fletch. I think 4 balls inside the 20-yard line, including the one there at the end on the 2. Steven knocking down field goals, guys covering kicks. I think they started on the 10-yard line one time on a kickoff. So just really proud of the way those guys have continued to play at a high level. The bottom line is, we're sitting here at 5-1, and we just, finished this game and won our 3rd conference game in a row, and we got a lot of things we can get fixed. That's a good thing to have, and we're excited about this opportunity we have coming next week.
Could you sense early that the offense wasn't clicking? Maybe the drops.
A couple of drops early. Yeah, we had 2 early. A hitch and then a sideline ball that we normally catch. And that just because we're a rhythm offense, and if you don't get that rhythm going, and I think today we had the most 3 and outs we've had this season. I don't know how many, but let's say 4 or 5. And that's not what we're accustomed to, and so get the first down, and then all of a sudden now we're rolling, and our guys getting great rhythm, and we just never had that. And then they had the ball a lot, so it's hard for us to get back and get in the rhythm. Is a little bit kind of like I felt like last week too, because they had the ball right at the end of the half and they get it coming out and a long drive, and then we go 3 and out, and then I think they had that 17-play drive. They had a 17 and a 19-play drive. It's incredible, So yeah, that was just the problem for the offense. Never got in rhythm.
Is there anything you do to try to kickstart that, or is it just a matter of getting that first down, getting going, and it just never happened?
Yeah, that's it. You got to make a couple plays to get it going, and we just didn't get it going. And I give credit to them too. I think they got a really good defense, a solid defense that has done. Look at their stats coming into this game, and then watching the film, they're very quick. They have some long edge guys, some big guys in the middle. Number 20, their linebacker's a solid player. They got good speed in the secondary, so give them some credit as well.
You've seen a lot of football. Have you ever seen a 9-minute drive that ends in a punt?
No, I don't think so. It's hard to keep track of all the stats and how things went, but that one drive that went 19 plays, ended up scoring on that one. That was wild. And then, I felt like today that we had a lot of 3rd downs to defend and 4th downs again. Was 18 and then 6 4th downs. That's a lot, and, at some point, I felt like, we got a couple PI calls on those 4th downs, and then the fluke play that bounced off us, and they caught it on the 4th down. So, but I thought overall defense played really good.
Cam Fancher ran 20 times for 108 yards. Do you feel like if quarterbacks are going to try to rely on that the way your defense is set up, that it's kind of a benefit for you guys that you can control them?
Yeah, I thought we did a really good job in the pass defense, and so that's why you had to run so much. He had 20 carries today. Most all of those, probably maybe other than 3 or 4 were the called Q runs, were him not even where to throw it and just having to go scramble and get some yards. There in the second half, I thought we did a better job of putting, Goldie got a couple good hits on him. When he sprinted out, he started to feel it a little bit more in that 4th quarter. He was getting tired. It looked like they had the ball a lot. So, but we had to get some more hits on him. And I think coming out of halftime. That was one adjustment that we needed to make.
How important is your depth on defense? 90 plays that UCF offense had, and you hold them to 11 points.
Yeah, it's incredibly important because we sub. You guys see us. We sub the D-line all the time throughout the game, and really those linebackers as well. There's about 6 linebackers that are rotating and subbing. The safeties have about a 5-man rotation at safety as well, and then today at corner, I think we had a 3-man rotation at corner. You know, and if you guys notice, like a lot of times when they sub, you know, we're sending dudes in, like, you know, because obviously the referee will hold the ball, and you have to keep them rotating like that. Otherwise, man, you just can't do it. 90 minutes, or 90 plays, and 40 minutes worth of time possession. You know, but we're built for it. I think we got this. We got the depth to be able to not have much fall off when the next guys are coming in.
Coach, winning obviously always a good thing, but when you say you have stuff to fix while you're winning, as opposed to if you were losing, and it's very glaring that you got to fix this. When you're winning and you have stuff to fix, how do you make sure that the guys are doing that and they're not getting complacent because you guys are winning?
Oh yeah, our offense is not going to be complacent after this one. I can promise you that. I mean, we did not play good. The guys know it. Everybody. I mean, it wasn't one person. I mean, it was everybody. So that's good. So we'll rip everybody come tomorrow. I mean, it's not good enough. I mean, it's not, quite honestly. I mean, as we move forward into this conference, we got some tough games. We know that, include starting, again next week. Going on the road, Oklahoma State. I mean, so we got to get better to where we don't have the letdown like we had today offensively. Because we have an offense. We got a lot of good players. We have a really good offensive line, good quarterback. I mean, we're good everywhere. We got to keep the pedal down and just keep being aggressive. And you guys got to expect to make those plays.
When you look at the UCF offense coming in, they're one of the most explosive offenses in the country. You guys did a great job of keeping them under 10 explosives, rushing and passing. What was the key game plan wise throughout the week to doing that? And it's kind of become a label for you guys defensively to keep stuff in front of you and let teams kind of mosey with their way down the field, but not ultimately give up too much.
Yeah, because I think I think sometimes if you get too aggressive defensively, somebody's going to get behind you, and there's 7 points. I mean, we defended a lot of snaps today, but only give up 11 points. Like you'll take that, And I think for us, it's really and truly just trying to keep it in front. Hope they make a mistake somewhere along the way, and we get off the field. And that happened today several times. And that's what it's all about. Obviously, I think we'd love to get create a couple more turnovers in there. We did win that today, so we got a fumble. Had a couple balls tipped that we probably could have had an opportunity to get our hands on. I mean, that's probably the best we've done with that so far this year. I think so. I can remember at least 4 right now. We had our hands on it, close to picking it off. I just think once we break the seal on that, we'll start getting some. We have not yet. Still waiting on it. So we have another opportunity next week to try to do that.
Coach, during the game, we saw a nice tribute from you for the late Sean Clark. Given his passing and your shared history, how have you done with processing his loss these last few weeks?
Yeah, I mean, number one, it was a shock. Whenever I got the news, a few weeks back, and then I was getting updates every single day, from some of our buddies, and actually a couple guys went down to Orlando when he was in the hospital, and I'm getting updates every single day about how he's doing, and sounded like he was doing a little bit better and all those type things. And then you get that one dreaded phone call that you don't want to get. Man, just extremely sad, really, for Janelle, his family, his 2 kids. And, Sean was a teammate of mine, coached with him, and a great friend. And that bond, I think, that bond that you create as teammates, it never loses you, losers get away from you. I mean, so we were tight. And they had just moved down to Orlando. He was loving it. He was loving it, loving Coach Frost and, living down there. And, it's just sad. And, it just tells you how precious life is and how we have to live life to the fullest each and every day. And the people that you are around, love on them. That's really, what we've been kind of talking about in the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Looked like you rotated the offensive line a lot more than usual. And then Jude Milan got a lot of run at right tackle. What are you seeing from that, or why did you rotate so much?
I mean, just trying to create something, a spark, something up front to see if we can get something going. And that's basically what that was. We've had several penalties up front too, and obviously trying to, what can we do to deter that? And we had another touchdown call back today. I think that's 3 conference games in a row where we've had a touchdown call back. We don't like that trend, so hopefully we can start eliminating that. So. But I told the guys last week, a lot of that's on us. Like, we have to play better with that. We have to not create those penalties and do better, when it comes to that. Just shooting ourselves in the foot.
And then speaking of Sean Clark, it looked like you were lining up to run power when that fumble happened.
Yeah.
Did he trip on Tangasol? Was that how that happened?
Yeah, the pulling guard, and sometimes, you're under center and the guard gets there a little bit quicker than he anticipated, and it clipped his foot and he fell down. But that was the power play on the 1 yard line.
When you're 6 games through, halfway through the season, does it feel like special teams has taken the biggest leap and been maybe the biggest factor in you guys kind of turning it around in full force from last
Yeah,
season?
I mean, it's been a big positive for us. There's no question about that. As I've talked about this, but the margins are so small here in the Big 12, and you have to find ways to gain advantage. We were not the last couple of years gaining any advantage in the teams really. And so far this year we've punted the ball really well. Stevens knocked them down. Our guys have covered and taken pride in covering, and then we've popped some returns like last week. We had 2 big returns. So the winning those field position battles, obviously really helps you to win. So yeah, I mean that's probably one of the biggest swings I would say from last couple of years to this year.
Is that what you envisioned when Coach Pascal became available? He's got a great reputation.
Yeah, great reputation. He's really fit in well with our staff. Very smart coach. And it's awesome to have a guy who's just really sole focuses on special teams. Tim Connor's been with me as well, and Tim works great with Luke as well. They have a little team of specialty guys, and they're just with them guys all the time and scheming up things that we can do to help give us an advantage. And they're fun to work with, and it's fun to watch those kids go out and play and take pride in the special teams. None of these kids were recruited to come play special teams other than the kickers, right? So like all the other guys who are on those teams, you have to inspire them to go out and play hard on the teams, and Coach has done a great job with that.
You had 4 straight games over 30 points, 20 today. So how much of that was execution? How much was UCF, or is that determined tonight and tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, we'll go back and look at it. I mean, part of that we ran 44 plays, and 49 plays. No, how many plays did we run? 48. Part of that was we didn't run many plays, and then part of that was lack of execution, 3 and out, But I do think they're a good defense. I do think they have some talent. They fly around. They made plays, So give them credit as well. So it's probably a little bit of both, but it's certainly something for to go back and try to get better at.
Any other questions for Coach? Thank you.
Good. Thank you guys.
Thanks, Coach.